Hey guys, welcome to the Shruti Biscuit podcast, Reduced to Clear Biscuits, episode 7. I've got to shorten that. Here with me today is, as usual, Alex Yousefi and the loot by Alan Daylight. Alan Light.
Yeah, if people haven't heard other episodes, this is the most randomly obscure thing. Long story short, I'm taking the mick out of Alex's Instagram handle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
If you want to know what the in-joke is, and go back to episode 1 of Reduced to Clear.
Yeah.
Then better to know. Have you guys been all right?
Yeah, pretty good, I think. I made my first trip back to the cinemas today.
Did you?
I did.
What did you say?
So I didn't see this as like, oh, this is going to be my grand one back. I signed up yesterday finally for Odeon Limitless thing. And so my first one under that was Peter Rabbit 2, which I quite liked, to be fair.
Really?
It's no Paddington 2, but it was a...
You do like your Paddington 2?
I do really like Paddington 2.
You do really like that.
The one.
Hasn't Paddington 2 been?
It has. It's
right.
not. No, it's no longer number.
What happened there, Luke?
So one person on Rotten Tomatoes gave a review that wasn't 100%, and so it got lowered down to 99% now. But I don't think any living human can not give it 100%. So I think this is the first evidence of aliens.
I'm just being alien.
Or robots.
Completely sidetracked, by the way. It's nothing to do with Reduced to Clear. Have you seen other UFO sightings recently?
What?
I haven't.
Shane, don't do this, man. I thought we had a clear break in 2021. UFO.
It's all over the world. There's like loads and loads of sightings of UFOs all of a sudden.
There was
Lovely.
There was something where it was revealed to be Elon Musk and his shuttles a while ago.
Was it?
It was in LA and people kept seeing flashing lights, and it was just Elon Musk had a load of shuttles just going off.
Just absolute banter. But there's one in like Mexico, there's one in like America somewhere. There's been loads randomly. These like random I don't know, these things that are just like hovering in the sky, and they're not moving.
It's no coincidence that this is the same time as Paddington 2 has been lowered on Rotten Tomatoes.
Anyway, enough about UFOs and stuff. You guys have brought another guest for me.
We have, yeah.
Yes.
I'll let you two do your really terrible introducing again.
Whoa. It's not that bad, is it? Is it that bad?
It's our first crew member rather than cast member.
That's true. That's true.
I'll take the net. We'll do it in like chunks.
This is already evident.
We're not doing that.
What do I mean?
This is Hannah Wright. Luke.
She is our production manager. She gets to do all the boring stuff so we can have fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't find it boring, but that's.
Yeah, I was going to say,
as soon
as I said that, I was kind of like, why is she doing this? So I'm glad you don't find it boring. I mean, it's interesting, but it just means that we a lot of the kind of more, I guess, admin-y things, or the contracts and all the rest, where we would be stressing our heads out, being like, how does this contract work? How does this work? How do we get in touch with here? We can just drop Hannah a message and be like, hey, can you sort this for us? And yeah.
And sometimes I say yes and sometimes I say no.
We know what they say.
Most of the time I try and say yes.
Yeah. Occasionally you've said, that's not my job.
That's not my job. Sorry.
Yeah, I love it. You know what they say though, Hannah, is that behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes. So
there'll be many eye rolls, I'm sure. I'm working up to it, we've got to create a rapport first before I do the first eye roll, I feel.
If you're anything like my missus, then she is a permanent eye roll now. Like, she's just used to it. She's permanently somersaulting.
Eye rolls aren't quite as effective over Zoom as well, so it's...
No, they're not. But when we're in person, there'll be a full... I'll test them out. Yeah, there'll be a full roll.
Yeah,
full roll of it. Yeah.
Is that another element of the admin is you just keep?
Yeah. Part of my job really is making sure the eye rolls are on point and on cue. because an irresponsibly placed eye roll could just throw the whole thing
screw
off
up the whole
filter,
production.
essentially.
Well, it's part of the whole sisterhood thing as well. It's something that you learn from a very young age, isn't it? Being a woman.
Oh yeah.
It's learning how to eye roll at men. That's completely not a sexist thing, by the way.
I was going to say, like,
look, my dad eye rolls. I think I learned it from my dad. So big up to Paul out there who's taught me how to eye roll.
My dad just scowls. My mum eye rolls.
No, that's the other way for me.
My dad loudly sighs. And that's
a really soul-crushing, disappointed sigh. The one that you just know that, like.
It's also like if I choose a film that we're all watching and there's too much bad language or like a really strong sex scene, I'll just hear my dad sighing, and it's like, oh, that's the worst reaction to get.
See, my mum, even now, I'm 27, and my mum still, if there's a sex scene on TV, she'll go, cover your eyes. I'm like, Mum. And she'll get really awkward. So then you get really awkward and you kind of sit there all in silence. Like,
whenever I go to cross the road, my dad puts his hand out, like, in front of me. And I'm like, Dad, I'm 30.
Just when it gets to watching film sex scenes, just never fast forward. It makes it worse.
Anyway, thanks a lot, Luke. So Hannah, let's talk a bit more about you. You're production manager for Yousefi. That's going on your CV, I assume. Yeah,
I do a lot of production managing roles. So I do producing, production managing, directing, art direction. But production managing is something that kind of gives you a full view of everything that kind of happens. You see all the moving parts. So I started off as a production manager.
Tower then doing your job, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like I should know this, or that I have asked this before, but what's the difference between a production manager and a line producer?
I suppose they're very similar, but a production manager is the manager of the production in the sense that I'll keep people on time. I'll make sure that everything is kind of running to schedule, that everyone knows where they need to be when they need to be there. A production manager is one of those roles that whenever you go on a production, every single director gives you different roles. So some production managers do the call sheets. Sometimes that's the AC. Sometimes that's the producer. Sometimes that's the location manager. You just get to like pick and choose, really. But I like to organize things and keep people going. And I think the reason why I like doing the production managing stuff anyway is because I get to be bossy. And who doesn't like to be bossy?
Yeah, and it's lovely to get that second opinion on things, where it's like, oh, before we spend out this on our budget, or before we do this location, by the way, we can now say where we're filming, but I'll wait till Alex is unfrozen.
Am I still frozen?
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you, we can't see you.
Ventriloquism. I think I should leave and join again, because... now you've just moved me to a different corner. I'm still frozen. Quantum lock. Right, should I leave and join again?
You might have to leave altogether, and start again. We'll carry on.
So what do we all really think of Alex?
I think he still needs a haircut.
Bless him. He's going to look back on this and be like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Guys.
Bless him. We're going to make him cry.
Let's try not to. That will make my job so much harder.
What, if Alex starts crying?
Yeah, because then I'll have to comfort him and then deal with everything else. Be like, it's all right.
And it's a bit weird to like comfort somebody and eye roll them at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm it's part of the job. So.
And then she'd have to comfort me with my upset of not getting the level of comfort that.
Yeah, you'll get jealous, won't you, Luke? So.
Oh God, I'm not a nanny. I'm just a production manager, though. We're two and one of a kind.
But yeah, it's definitely been really helpful having a production manager to consult on so many of these things. And I mean, there's definitely been points where you've messaged me and I've been like, oh no, we haven't told you this. So we're definitely working this out. But I feel like we're in I mean, you welcome on like live on air to tell them that it's all a mess or something. But I feel like we're in a good place at the production.
We're going to get there, Luke. We're going to get to that point.
It feels thus far like it's all working together.
I would say.
So how did you get into this sort of style of work then, Hannah?
I got asked to do it once for a music video and was like, I'm one of those people that you'll go, if you offer like me a job, especially if there's money involved, I'll go, yeah, of course I can do that. And then I'll figure out later, like YouTube's my best friend. And so essentially that's what happened. Someone was like, hey, can you production manage the shoot? And I was like, yeah, of course I can. And yeah. You know what I mean? And then went to YouTube and realized that actually no one really knows. Like there's not like a set of rules. So then just went to the director, like, what do you need me to do? Like, how can I help? And went from there and just really enjoyed it. A lot of people on bigger shoots, they have a production manager. They'll have like sometimes like location production managers as well. But for me, like I like being on a smaller set where there's less kind of cooks in the kitchen, so that I can work with the director and the producer and the script supervisor, and we can make sure that everything's like running like clockwork. Essentially, a big part of my role is like when they're filming, I get set up for the next thing, so that I'm like always like thinking 2 steps ahead, so that when something's finished, the next thing's happening. Otherwise, it's kind of like, that was really good.
It's such a relief, because when I've done a lot of the solo directing things I've done, I've tended to find that, especially towards the end of shooting a particular scene, my mind isn't on getting this done. My mind is only on, we're running behind schedule. We've got to get this and that. And then it'll be getting to the edit where I'll be like, I meant to get that shot, but I forgot to. So to be able to know that on set, you'd be able to have that role, and I can actually think, let's shoot it this way, or have we got time to do this or that? And
I'll go, no, we don't have time.
This is a 3-day shoot, and you're on day 7. Hurry up!
That's what you like.
It is not going that far. Trust me, we will be going through. Essentially, And I got into it because of that. I got into it because I realized that I was quite organized. I enjoyed film. I understood film. I understood the process of making a film, because I have also made my own films. Okay. So I get like a lot of the kind of background work. I'm also like, I trained as an actor, so I get how to work with actors. Yeah. So I'm like, if a director struggles with the actors, I can also help with them. Or I can just be that barrier. If the director is like, I don't want to speak to them right now, I'm like, okay, cool, I will speak to them. I'm like the one who kind of manages energies and spaces so that things can move, like, so everyone else can do their job, because the director shouldn't be thinking, when's catering coming, or why is that person's makeup not done? Yeah. That's going to distract you from actually seeing what's happening in front of you. And it means that you're going to be, the director's job is to direct. It's not to think about all of the other things. That's why you have people like us there. And that's what I like about it. I like helping people to create their vision. And then I get to do, my job in that sense. So that's really fun.
So did you like go to like acting school or something? Did you? Yeah.
So I did a contemporary performance, which was at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I did 4 years there, which was it's a very interesting course. It's like a lot of
not something that you wanted to sort of explore as opposed to going.
I still act, but it's a really horrible world.
Really, is it?
It's a hard world. It's you are pinned against people that you really enjoy, and if you can do both, I think it's better. Like, so if I'm an actor, I understand where like eye levels, I understand sound, I understand what the director's trying to say, I understand who I should be speaking to about certain things when I'm an actor, which helps make a better set, I think, when someone understands on the other side. Also, like, I get the process, so I'll never get angry at a camera guy for taking too long to set up, because I've been there trying to set up and been like, an actor's been like, and you're like,
I've noticed quite a lot. I've noticed quite a lot that actors I've worked with are quite interested in taking behind the scenes roles. Yeah, like I know that some of the people who are working behind the scenes on this, who I haven't haven't been like officially brought on board, so I won't say. But there were certain people who I've been working on something with recently who were kind of like, "Oh, if you just want anyone behind the scenes, I'd just like to try that out." And I think that is so great, because in the reverse way, that's what I'm trying to think with like extras work. It's like it's just being there, it's just taking it all in. And
would you say, Luke, that from your sort of standpoint, that having somebody who has acting knowledge already doing some behind the scenes roles, do you think that's a benefit? That's like a help?
I definitely think so, because I think as a director, especially having no acting knowledge other than like occasional Amdram things that I've done, it's sometimes so hard to vocalize when you know that someone's delivered a take wrong. It's like, so I was shooting this thing a couple of weeks ago for my coursework, and it's like I really like the scene, but occasionally, you know, the one line is delivered slightly off, and it's like, but how do I tell them how to do it right when, you know, they're skilled in the area, I'm not? So how do I say that doesn't work? Can you try doing so? Definitely to be able to have people behind the scenes who know, or even actors who've had experience, you know, as crew members, to be able to understand where I'm coming from with this. But also, I'd say from a directing point, when it gets to stuff like that and ways where I don't think lines are delivered in the right way, I will always do one take, often the first take, where the actors have got free rein to do everything as it was in their head, because I think it's always important to have that there before I then go asking for them to give us options on other things. And Alex has messaged me saying he's restarting his computer because StreamYard just messed it up.
I think.
Yeah, hello. I've been here a minute. I had to restart, unplug everything, and then changed. In the end, all I had to do was change to Bing, because Firefox, for some reason, had decided.
You don't use Firefox, man. What? I
do. I'm sorry. I love it. What do you use?
Come on, man. Chrome.
When you get into the technical,
I feel like Firefox was like from 2012.
Literally, right? Like,
there was like
my dad got really excited that it came out.
Yeah, there was like a year where people were like, "Hey, there's this new thing called Firefox."
Firefox.
No one.
Bing's not working either, Alex.
No, it's not. You need to use Chrome, man. It's a bit like the fact that I've actually still got an AOL email address.
Really? I thought that was long gone.
I don't use it very much, but I do actually still have one. I still have access to it.
So I'd love to get access to my old email.
I think AOL is actually before my time.
Yeah, I think
probably.
It is.
I think I was.
You'll never have heard the pain of dial-up then.
Oh God!
You couldn't go on the internet after 6 o'clock. Dial-up was the bane of my childhood. Yeah. Because MSN was also the pinnacle moment of my childhood.
I loved MSN.
MSN Messenger caused so many issues in my life, in personal life. It's when catfishing started. Like, you would make fake emails to like bam people up. It was when you told about you.
Back on MSN days, when you told your girlfriend or boyfriend at the time that you were going to go to bed, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, cool," and then they could see you typing.
Yeah. Oh, Luke, you've missed out on a huge part of childhood.
And then you could put your you used to be able to link the music you're listening to onto your status. So it was fine until like some of my playlist was on random, because I used to download some music from Sister and stuff, and I had some questionable music on there. So she used to, it come up and I get like screenshots of people print screens, like, and send it to me, saying like, "Oh, look what Shane's listening to," and I'm like, "Oh
no."
It
wasn't me. Like, I skipped it, man. Like,
what was the other thing? LimeWire.
LimeWire
is still a thing, actually. It was like the first torrent.
You probably use.
Yeah, I only just know of LimeWire.
Don't ever use LimeWire, not unless.
Oh, don't! Please don't. It will give you so many viruses. I think I messed up 4 or 5 of my dad's computers.
Yeah.
By just downloading songs, because he wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me download 50 Cent. I understand why, because I was just singing the lyrics because I thought it was cool. Yeah. It was not appropriate for a 12-year-old girl to be singing those lyrics. Essentially,
I used to try and download music and stuff and end up with quite questionable videos. What I actually ended up with, I'm trying to travel.
Also, for the sake of the British, for the sake of us being the voice of the British film industry today, don't illegally download anything.
No, never, ever.
Yeah, of course.
But when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You don't get it.
We didn't actually use it to get pirated music and stuff. That never actually happened.
I used to
just make fun of the viruses.
My main point for me was like YouTube to clip converter. That was my main thing. And then now I'm just like, I'll just buy the songs.
Buy the track. Yeah.
I've been playing it pretty safe and legal for a few years now.
That's good. The artist will appreciate it.
I got annoyed at a teacher in secondary school for we had to watch the film of one of the texts we were doing, and they just add it in 2 parts on like Daily Motion or something. and I was like, the DVD would cost you like a $5. And
you watch it every year, so you may as well invest that.
Ironically, I'm now in contact with the director of that film, so I could blackmail the school now. I could. I don't know what I feel like the director probably wouldn't have a ton to say about it. but at least I like that information's there. Yeah. It's on iPlayer now as well, I think. I'm deliberately not mentioning the film.
I know, and I'm really intrigued by it, but I'm also understanding why you're saying it.
Hang on, there's a chat here. There we go.
And I was about to say
nearly.
Stop me there. Freeze.
Oh dear. So what else have you been? You said you made some films and stuff before. What have you done before?
I just got off a shoot yesterday. So that was a film that I've made with a charity called Standing Tall Arts, which is part of the Guardianship Project, which works with unaccompanied minors who are asylum seekers in Scotland. Okay. So I just directed a short film with them, as half the cast is young asylum seekers. So we had and that'll be coming out in maybe August. I'm also editing it, so I need to get on that essentially. So and then a couple of music videos for a wonderful artist called Elizabeth Electra, who's like kind of pop music. She's really, really great. And then I was production manager on a shoot 2 weeks ago called Worlds Apart, which is going to be a really great short made in Glasgow as well, which was funded by Creative Scotland. Pardon?
I'm assuming you live up there.
So I live in Glasgow at the moment, but I'm from Sheffield, so I kind of live between the two. I was meant to move back down to Sheffield after COVID, but then there's a lot of film stuff in Glasgow. Right. So I've kind of been settled up here for a couple of weeks.
And there is diddly squat here in Shropshire.
There's only Luke, that's it, really.
You beat, honestly, Glasgow is like I think there's a shoot on almost every weekend.
Really?
Oh, wow. To be fair, I think Enola Holmes was filming here pretty recently, but I couldn't find a way of getting on. Because I knew the locations from the first film, and I found they were making a sequel, and I was like, well, they're going to be here, but I couldn't find anyone who had any way in, and I think they probably either wrapped up shooting or moved by now, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But,
that's gonna be a bit of a trek for you, though, isn't it, to come down here to do the? No,
because I'm already staying down in Sheffield. So I'll be staying down in Sheffield by that point. And then I'm coming over and staying in Shropshire for a couple of get to know the local area.
Or just
all the delight.
One location.
Good on Shropshire. Yeah. I love Shropshire. It's my favourite place.
You'll get to know the hotel and this one location, and that will be it.
I'll meet the locals. Don't you worry. They'll become our best friends because I'll be the one telling them to stand back and stop talking on streets.
Yeah, that's it. And actually, one thing we have. Oh no, never mind. I was about to say, this is one thing we need to sort out, but I was like, no, that's actually a plot spoiler, so can't discuss that.
Yes.
But there's the thing that we need to sort out permissions for. That
every episode, right? He drops these things to talk about, like, which are all like cloak and daggers, and are all like sort of behind the mask. He's like, I mentioned this, but I can't actually talk about it. So,
you know what? Keep the intrigue, though.
Yeah, 7 episodes in, the intrigue's definitely gone. And I've just typed in the chat while I'm talking about. I've been looking into how to make sure.
And I think that's okay. I love this back chat where we can just pretend like there's something really secretive going on.
The Easter egg.
We've
mentioned it before, mate.
I don't know whether we've told Hannah this.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've told Hannah this either. So please enlighten me.
It started as a joke, and then just became this is happening now. The Shane's going to be in the film at some point in the background.
Just standing there,
just getting all the listeners to try and spot Shane, and that's
love it.
I'm not a small guy, right? I'm 6'1", and I'm like, a bit of weight, and it's like I think me being stood in the background of a film as like an Easter egg kind of thing, saying the spot the shade is gonna be quite, it's gonna be quite funny because I'm just gonna stand out like a sore thumb. Like,
I can't wait for you to try and hide that one, Luke.
I have ideas.
You should see what they sent me. It says, "Do you have any of these clothes?" I was like, "Are you joking?"
Interesting.
This was all very recently that I didn't bring it up in our last meeting. This specific.
Oh, I don't mind. Put all the Easter eggs in you want.
But there was right. I was charity shopping the other day, and I came across this thing that I think will make an amazing extra gag in the film, and so that's what we're trying to sort out.
Oh, okay.
I was literally out and I saw this like great thing and it was really cheap. And I was just like, I'm not even going to ask Alex. I don't mind wasting like £3 on this. And now I've just got to find somewhere to put this.
You have to watch that, Hannah, because these £3 soon mount up. They.
That's from my own pocket. That's not from the budget. So I'm nice like that.
Just getting a notebook out now, right?
No, I don't handle the budget. That's not my job. I don't handle the money.
And so, listeners, if you see me coming back like a couple of weeks from now, begging for money, you'll know what's going on.
You'll know why.
It's that £3. It's no, and
there and everywhere.
I've covered a few things out of my pocket on little things. Just things that I don't want to take out of the budget, where I'm like, oh, this budget's been sorted and we know what we need. And then when a new thing we need pops up, it's like, I might do it.
How did you find Reduce to Clear then, Hannah? How did you sort of meet
Facebook?
Luke? Was it literally just
Facebook? Literally.
I have an incredible end to this story that I don't think you know. Well, start to the story, not end to the story. Start to the story.
We're not finished yet.
Which is that we were on call.
A joke, and it's really inappropriate. I'm really sorry.
We were on call with a fellow filmmaker who's been really supporting us. Once again, I haven't discussed with him whether we can disclose his name, so I won't say it. But we were chatting with this guy who was offering us a load of advice, and literally, he said to us, "You guys are going to need a production manager." And 10 seconds later, I got a DM on Facebook from Hannah saying, "Hi, I'm a production manager. Just wondering if you need it." And I was just like, "This is incredible."
So that's literally what you did. You slid into his DMs,
and slid in,
and just went, "Give you a job."
I'm an opportunist.
Yeah, it's suddenly not as nice and surprising. We find out that she was just listening outside the window.
Yeah. Just tapped everyone's computers through MSN Messenger. Just pressing there like
through Firefox.
This old technology, they'll never catch me.
You hacked into Alex's
Firefox. Yeah. Oh, Alex is not having a good time today.
No, this is
he's regretting all of his life decisions about Bing and Firefox. I'll tell you that.
This is our 7th one of these, 8 if we include when we were on US UK, and this has never happened before.
No. But this is what it's like, though, isn't it? If you remember, I don't know if it was one of these.
Is he in the studio now?
No, he's not. He's not at the moment.
Oh, he said he is.
No, he's not. Since the COVID thing all happened, obviously we had to, as a podcast, had to sort of then carry on doing what we're doing. We're quite passionate about the fact that we didn't want to stop. We didn't want to, be one of the people that kind of had to flop during the lockdown. So we just altered things, stopped doing face-to-face interviews, and did everything through Zoom, which meant that we had to sort of alter the way we do things, alter the way we edit stuff, and things like that. but obviously with that ended up with a lot of things like connectivity problems, that kind of stuff, and it's just part and parcel of it. Like at first we were a bit sort of like we had a few guests on, which were like and all the it's all glitchy and like the dropping in, dropping out and stuff like that. And at first we were like, oh my god, the listeners are going to hate this. Like, oh god, this is our reputation for the drain. Like, oh, this is going so wrong. But then eventually we just sort of thought, you know what, it's the way it is. People understand, people get it.
I think it's really funny to listen to as well.
And he's back.
Hey. Oh my gosh, no! that why?
So Alex,
yeah.
Do you want to just tell us how you're feeling right now about Firefox?
It's not Firefox's fault. Firefox uses Firefox uses least amount of memory. It's like the most optimized browser, isn't it? Yeah, go on, do it. Yeah, it is. Do the little bit of research. Shane.
What browser are you using on your phone?
Chrome. It didn't work on my computer though, so it's not a computer problem.
I think
it is. It's because
maybe
I got an
Firefox. Maybe the Firefox on your computer is preventing Chrome from working, and it's
of course, It doesn't like.
Well, we decided that the reason why Hannah knew that you needed a production manager was because she hacked into your Firefox and overheard
Yeah, it must have been it. Guys. You've got me, but. This is
my tricks have been revealed.
In fact, we can say who we were on call with. I just remembered he tweeted it. It's a guy called Marcus Marco, and we were chatting with him, and he said, "You need a production manager." And then Hannah literally messaged us about 10 seconds later. Don't know whether you remember this, Alex. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, of course I remember. It was perfect.
It was just like literally that moment. It was incredible, and he just moved on to what else we need. And I was like, back a second.
Hold up, reverse. We've got one.
Shout out to the wonderful Marcus Marco, and he's made a feature film called Papadopoulos and Sons on iPlayer.
Yeah.
What was it about Reduce Clear then that come onto your radar that then did you just happen to just fall on it on Facebook or something, or?
Yeah, I think I fell on it on Facebook. I came upon it. I don't know. Fell on it sounds weird. And just where I'm at right now. Yeah, I found it on Facebook and I was like, this sounds interesting. And then I got the script.
But you were already tied in. And
yeah, no, I got the script first and I was like, okay, I like this. This is funny. This is intriguing. It's like 1, possibly 2 locations. Easy. And it was working with, a new group of people down in England. I do a lot of work in Scotland. I've started doing more work in England, but it's definitely not I'm not in that networking scene. So I was like, okay, well, this is a good opportunity to meet lots of like young creatives who want to do something. And I kind of got speaking to Luke and Alex, and I was just like, okay, well, I can help. So why not? So yeah, I did, and and I've not looked back ever since.
Yeah, I mean that's really cool, Hannah. Obviously, we've been through that. That's great. What's it? Sorry, my brain just turned off and I just started talking. I don't know what we're on about. I was going to ask the question: what have we covered so far?
Many things.
We covered your haircut. We covered.
Okay.
We talked about LimeWire for surprisingly.
Yeah, we talked about LimeWire. MSN, yeah. We took the mickey out of your Firefox and your current connectivity situation for a little bit. We talked a bit about Hannah. What?
What the why I can't work is because I got an SSD like a few days ago, so I've been setting that up, and I think somewhere a permission thing must have been like messed up. I'm still like fully sorting out.
Shall we talk about our location? Because
I was just about to say on that note, Luke, I believe you're allowed to talk about your.
Yeah, we've known this for a while, but I realised we never checked with them whether we were allowed to say. So checked with them last week. And Alex, do you want to say where we are? Where we're going?
Yeah, we are
in tag teaming.
Yeah, we are in the Wakes Community Centre in Telford. Is it Oaken Gates?
It is Oaken
yeah,
Gates.
Oaken Gates.
come visit us, ruin the shoot.
Just really tell you need a production manager because you don't even know where you're shooting.
It is brilliant. We walked in. I'm sure we've used this line 100 times now. We walked in, we looked, and we were like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." And then Luke tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Alex," and then we both looked, and it was our bar. That's what we imagined in our brains.
Yeah, so we have a bar scene, and it was we didn't know we were both like in tune with what we wanted for the bar, but we both looked at this because we were going there for the empty hall where we're building a charity shop set. And literally, just right across from it was this bar that they just built, and we just like literally was just like, "That's our bar. That's what was in our head." That is
perfect. Yeah, and I think you should, if you're in the local area, it is at the moment it's a cafe sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cafe. So
if you're in the area,
like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so
I'm finding out what they're called. I think they're called the Outpost. So if you're in the Oaken Gates area, stop by at the Wakes Community Centre and get yourself a coffee from the Outpost Cafe Bar. They've been so lovely. I think they deserve it.
We should get like a special discount code for anyone listening.
Yeah, actually, reduce to clear one.
Yeah, they are great. And then we were. How do we add to this, Luke?
I don't know. It's there's a local hair salon.
They're
doing
around it.
Hair and makeup, and they are literally a 30-second walk around the corner from our location.
Yeah,
and like we're right opposite the COVID testing center. So if we're at a time where everyone needs to be tested, which probably will be the case, then they can get tested opposite our location.
Yeah.
And it's also around a lot of local charity shops. So we're hoping to ask a few of them whether they could lend us some surplus stock to build a set from.
Yeah.
So it seems so lovely and wonderfully convenient, and the people who
it's really close to where we live.
Yeah.
Well, I say like really close. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to travel like on a train.
It's between like 1 and 2.
Like Hannah.
Yeah.
We've had meetings with Hannah on Zoom on a train.
And it didn't go well. We'll put it that way. I think we got 4 words out before my connectivity.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was a terrible meeting. It was probably the most unproductive meeting I've ever had.
I don't think we could call it a meeting, could we?
I think it was a gathering of internet devices that failed.
Yeah, but it's
an online gathering.
Whenever we're like arranging to have any meeting with Hannah, the first thing Alex and I say is, "I wonder if she's going to be on a train today."
I wonder if she's going to be on a train. And the likelihood is no, I'll be on a bus or some sort of subway or a taxi. Always in motion, even today. I might be walking.
Yeah.
I'll try not to be, but I might be walking.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And even if you were on a train, you'd still have had better internet and connection than Alex has today. So
yeah.
You know what?
It's not internet, but carry on. It's a different thing.
Yeah, sort of, maybe.
It is. It's devices.
It's on the internet, and you are struggling to connect. Therefore, it is internet connection.
Internet related.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Internet related connection issues.
So is this like doing this production managing and picking up these sort of ad hoc kind of roles and stuff? Is that like your full-time sort of job, or do you have a job as well? Or
so I'm the admin and delivery officer for a charity called Street Cones. So we provide like creative workshops for individuals who are in the criminal justice system on the outskirts, or like young offenders, and we create like creative workshops to do with theatre and script writing and film, to allow them to feel heard and tell a story, make a script, make a film. So at the moment because of lockdown and COVID, we went online, and we've been working with 16 local authorities around Scotland, providing online script writing workshops for people who are on CPOs, which is community payback orders.
Yeah.
So that's people, we got funded to do that because during lockdown you couldn't go to a charity shop, you couldn't pick litter, you couldn't go and do any of the community payback work that you normally would be able to do. So people are sitting there with maybe 300 hours.
Wow.
With nothing to do. So we provided like workshops online that were more restorative and rehabilitating And it just, I'm really passionate about this, but it just shows like the power of like art and like creative practices, and how just by giving someone a space where you say, look, this is a world of fiction, you don't have to speak about anything about your personal life. We never ask anything personal. We ask everything through character. So, that character, maybe he took loads of drugs and now he's doing this and it's really bad. Okay, yeah, that character could do that. I don't know if that's their story or if it's someone else's story, but it's a way of processing traumas in a really safe way without speaking about yourself, and just the effects that have I've got big burly like Scottish men coming on, and I'm making them play Spot the Difference on Zoom or charades or Pictionary. Like we do like creative exercises and work, and they, by the end of it, they're like, oh, can we play that game where you've got to transform one thing into another? And you're like, of course we can. As long as you could do the voices, though. Oh, yeah. I'll do the voices. And at the end, we do a performance of the script. We perform to their case managers and to sheriffs. And just the case managers are just baffled because they never thought they had the capability. And it's just, well, why wouldn't they? Like, these are just ordinary guys who never, and women, who never had the opportunity of accessing arts because the schools didn't teach it, or they were just annoying. And so they would never go to school.
Yeah, the concept of rehabilitation, second chances, and seeing people like that as normal people who may have made a mistake has been weirdly reduced to clear as one of the only things I've made where that hasn't been a central underlying theme.
Yeah.
Because my sorry to kind of drag this long.
No, it's
all right.
My parents run a community centre, Redeeming Our Communities centre near here in Shropshire, and it's so from about the age of 10 I've been around ex-offenders, drug addicts, alcoholics, and then just other stuff with isolation, loneliness, and all I was seeing is I was like, I'm with these people, and then I'm seeing representations of these people on telly, and they're portrayed as like some of the most horrible, and that's something that definitely stood out to me. And so I did not know that this was the element that of your background you're coming from, and that's just fascinated me so much more, which is brilliant. Because
I love it. I think it's like my work today was with young people who are like they come from really difficult backgrounds, and it's really hard, and to have someone come in and go, we're going to make a film, they're like, I was going to swear then, but I didn't. Essentially, they say a horrible word, and then you go, all right, well, what do you like doing? Like, take us on a tour of your area. And then I'll ask them questions, and I'll be like, what if we could make an advert for this place? Like, even a really bad advert, what would it look like? And then I'll film them. And then I'll edit it, and then I'll show them, look, this is what we filmed last week, and I've just edited that. And they're like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, can we do this now? And I'm like, yeah, of course we can do that. And just by giving someone a space and a platform to be heard, honestly, all we want to do as humans is be heard and be respected. So just by going in and saying, we're creators now. You're not like a naughty kid. Me and you are on the same platform here, but what do you want to do? What do you want to use that platform for? This is your space. You own this space right now. What do you want to do? Because your creativity is your only limit, and by giving a kid that, you've got no worries. They'll run with it.
That is so important to treat everyone at that equal level, because so much of society hasn't done that, and it's
100%.
Yeah, so upsetting.
To be fair, there's something that actually rings quite true to me, because when I was growing up, I was a misunderstood child. Luckily, I sort of caught my fall, as it were, before it got too bad. But I kind of get that, because the teachers when I was at school that really stood out to me, the ones that gave me a chance, it actually gave me a bit of benefit of the doubt. They're the ones that really sort of stuck out to me in my head. The ones that were constantly on my case and whatnot, the ones that just made it worse, And I've spoken to a lot of ex-offenders and stuff over the years and stuff like that. And obviously, me and Al do a lot of work at the prison. The shooting prison is a tourist attraction at the moment, so there's no actual inmates in there. But we talk to a lot of the ex-officers and stuff like that, and we're sort of quite sort of familiar with that kind of environment. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the time, if you speak to any officer, they'll tell you that they're just, a lot of them, they're just stuck in a rut.
Yeah, 100%. I think with the not all of them, most people don't go out to do a bad thing.
No.
1% of people in prison have gone out with the intention of hurting someone intentionally or doing something bad. Most of the time, it's situational.
Oh yeah,
people
for sure.
don't necessarily want to do it.
No one leaves school and thinks, I'm going to be a drug addict now.
No. But if that's all you've seen, that's a rite of passage. And I have young people that I work with who's like, oh, I want to be a carpenter, but like after I've been to the prison here is called Polmont. So after I've been to Polmont, and I'm like, why not skip the Polmont bit?
Yeah.
What you can and they're like, you can skip the Polmont bit?
What? You go to prison?
Like you don't have but my dad, my granddad, my bro, like they've all been through it, and like I'll be thought of as soft, or I'll be thought of as
I think it's also it's dangerous as well on the other side of that for people to assume that it's only people like that who go down there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because then you there's that wall that people put up against them as a kind of, well, I don't want to be seen with those people because that's them. But then it's also well, that'll never happen to me. And often I think they're the people who end up going down all these things, but maybe would think that they can't be victim to addiction, or would think that it's not going to happen because they're not like that bloke they saw on the telly last week. And exactly. I think that's what's really concerning. And so quite often, there was a Darren Brown thing called on Netflix called The Push, which it sounded kind of Darren Brown stunt, but essentially the whole thing was a situation that he'd created that would lead to someone pushing someone off the top of a roof. And I think it was 3 out of the 4 people he tested it on had reached that point in their brain where they were willing to do what they thought was committing murder. And they're all people who, saw themselves as good people. And I think so much, often it's not a crime to that extent, obviously, but a lot of people, it is the place that they were at at that point, rather than how they see themselves now or how they see themselves normally. And to be stuck inside that box or with that label is horrible.
Yeah. I think the moral of the sort of the story here is just don't judge people, I suppose.
No, yeah.
Give people a chance to speak and speak their truth, whether you think it's wrong or not. It's their truth.
Some ex-convicts or former addicts are nicer than people and better friends than most other people I've met. It's at the end of the day, it's not a competition of suffering. These people may or may not have done things on purpose or whatever, but ultimately everyone deserves a crack of the whip, And I think it's important that everybody just sort of just gives them a chance to speak, because they haven't lived their life. And they haven't walked in their shoes. So I think that's very important. I think that the work that you're doing, Hannah, and obviously your parents, Luke, and I know that you did the film as well to sort of highlight what you were saying as well. There's the one that's out about addiction, unstable, and there's the one I'm doing for my coursework that I don't think I'm even allowed to say what it's about. There's weird coursework rules, but there's thing that has happened. It's weird because like some parts of the exam board are like, hey, you're allowed to release it and enter it to festivals. And then other parts of the exam board are like, you're not even allowed to mention it on your social media that you've made it. And it's like, but what? How do I do both?
Right.
So I'm trying to tread a line carefully. I've been told that I'm not allowed to like put it on my IMDb yet, which is a shame because having not done Reduced to Clear yet, obviously, this is my favorite thing that I've ever made. And it's just like, I've got to wait. So yeah, that's me being vague, but it deals with similar themes to that. Yeah. And now Shane, testing your podcasting skills, how the heck do you slide from this into improv comedy?
I was trying to but no, seriously, the work that you guys are doing is fantastic, and fair play to you massively.
Thank you very much.
And as usual, if there is anything that the Biscuit can do in that sort of field or whatever, then please just give us a shout and we'll do what we can. Even if it's a workshop or something that you're doing, you want promoting or something like that, I'm sure we can.
I'm definitely fascinated by this getting involved in the arts idea, and I may forward that on to the places in which my family work and see what.
But speaking of getting involved with the arts, and he's just got
Alex.
Unbelievable. That is shocking. I can't believe he's just done that.
It's on cue.
Hannah, again, I don't know how many of the other episodes you listened to. I don't know if you listened to any or a couple. I don't know, but it's Luke's idea. He started it.
It was winter first, I think. It's just my idea to have carried it on.
So now we do an improv session. It's only real quick. We just have a quick scenario and we just take turns in a bit of improv stuff just because it's funny, basically.
Right, let's do it.
But I don't know how to do this now. I think Alex has got to just drop out for this one. I think it's going to be.
I'm just messaging him now.
I'm trying to think of a scenario now. I think just because this is product manager and director, I think that how it should be is Hannah should play a director who wants to spend loads of money on something.
I knew this was how you were going to go. You were going to flip it around.
We're doing the improv.
What are we passing over?
We're doing the improv.
What role do we give? Is Alex going to be like one of the actors or something?
We can do one big improv if you want.
Sure, yeah, let's do that. Let's do a big one.
Okay, so
get in on it.
Okay, so okay, right, Luke, you're the product manager. Hannah's the director, and me and Luke are actors. And Hannah wants to.
Hang on, do you mean you and Alex? Because you've just assigned me twice.
Right, so what am I again?
You're an actor.
An actor.
Me and you are actors. Okay. Luke's the director, and
hang on.
Oh God,
Right. Look, as the director, I will tell you your roles. Luke, you're the production manager. Shane, you're an actor. Alex, you're an actor. Yep. Shane, learn your lines.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, and let's think. Okay, me and Alex want to upgrade our hotel room because it's rubbish. So we want to spend more money. And we're not happy about it. And we're A-class actors.
Sure.
And then you two need to fight it out, and we're stood there as well, by the way. So you can't just be like, Shane's not having a hotel room, whatever.
What?
So Alex, you can start.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to just kick it off? Yeah. Damn milk! It's all ruined. Shane, I think we're going to have to upgrade the room.
I think so too.
Okay, well,
I think we need to get the production manager. I think that's what we need. That's what we need to speak to, right?
Yeah, I think so. Do you know where they are? Why are you laughing, Shane? Are you wearing a wire?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So where is the production?
I don't know. I think we need to call her. In fact, let's go knock on her door.
What? Oh, okay. So
what do you mean?
She's just through here, is she?
Have I changed gender now?
No, they're knocking on my door, but I'm the director.
Okay.
So,
I don't care who I'm talking to.
Whatever your request is, your general disregard
and
for
good milk
crew.
and sockets on the walls. I don't want this. What is this?
Luke,
Shane, I'm getting out. We gotta move.
Luke, I need the actors on set now.
Luke, you gotta get some set.
Right.
Get the actors on set.
Right. We'll talk en route to set.
No, like now.
No.
Now. You need now. Right.
Now,
now. Or I'm leaving.
It's not. It's this. It's well. Unless you're paying, unless your own pocket is covering your. Unless you're willing to pay the difference,
do you know
what I am? In your hotel,
to stay on your film?
You are contractually obliged to stay on our film.
No, I'm not.
Screw your contract. I ain't got to do nothing. I want my new room with my
There
towels.
is no screw the contract. The contract is a solid foundation in which this film.
Okay, well, can you at least change my telly off Welsh? I don't understand Ben 10 in Welsh. Can we please play something else? I want to move.
Do you still want Ben 10, but in English? Or
yes.
I want to file a complaint. Well, I want to speak to your boss, please.
I'd like to file several complaints, please.
Hannah,
where's room service? Shane ordered 30 minutes ago.
I know.
Sorry, what's happening?
Right? We're not happy with this room. And
I'm not happy. I'm not happy that you're not on set. So why are you not on set? What's happening?
Demand to speak to the director.
You are speaking to the director? Why, you think it has to be a man? You're not taking a female director? You're not going to do what I say, hey?
I just want to leave.
I think you should come on set right now.
What are you going to do about it? You're going to have to drag me there in a limo.
Drag you there in a limo? I'll drag you there by Horton Cart.
Limo or leave?
Limo or leave? Where are you going to leave to? Where are you going to go? How are you going to leave without your limo? Where are you going to go?
I've got a horse.
Yeah, I got a horse and nice milk at home. I don't need to be here. You're not even paying me that well, if I'm going to be frank. I mean, what character am I even playing? I don't know my lines.
Sorry.
Is this the right film? I don't even think I'm meant to be here.
If you don't know your lines...
This is the reduced to clear set, right?
This is Alex.
No.
You can't just
this is really...
We don't really have time to re-audition.
Oh no, we do. I'll play the part.
That's your problem.
Yeah,
I'll play the part.
Well, it's
I'll step in.
We don't
need. I don't even drink milk, so it's fine.
Me and Alex.
He's making a fuss out of nothing.
We're a thing. You know, we're together on this. So if you're gonna sack Alex, you can sack me as well.
Exactly, Shane.
It would be my pleasure.
My back. He's what?
What?
You can't do that. What about my Ben 10 and my towels and my milk?
Do you know?
That's all at home. That's all at home. We'll get you Ben 10.
Oh no, you can't do that.
You can't just say. Do you know who I am?
I paid good money.
No, I actually don't know who.
You will never film in this. You have no authority here, Hannah.
I'll tell you who you are. You're not the actor I asked for.
Sorry, who are you?
I'm Shane.
Yeah, who are you?
Actually, thank you very much.
Oh,
Alex Yousefi, that's my name. And I want what?
Yeah, Shane Ritchie.
I want a waterbed.
Is he still acting?
I wanted Shane Ritchie. I'll take him.
I'm better looking than Shane Ritchie.
Yeah, Shane, I don't remember being asked to come. Are we on the right film? I think they meant different people.
I think he's lost.
Wait, did you want Alex or Alexandra?
Alexandra.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even think they're actors. I don't
think they are. You know what? I did hear a report of of 2 escapees from a mental asylum.
No. I'm a farmer.
We should just call the police.
I'm a farmer. That explains the horse and my love of Ben 10.
Can we get a message over to the production assistant?
His limo.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to call the police.
Okay, Shane, I think
could we also notify the production assistants to not let strangers off the street into our hotel?
So there's 2 kind of like nutters on the set. Yeah.
We should go,
can you escort them away, please? Yeah.
No way did a police car just come past my house.
That's not my arm, guys. That's not my arm. Shane, we gotta go. Not in character anymore. We gotta go, man.
That's gotta be one of the most rubbish improvs.
Yeah, definitely. That's the
most
worst one.
best timed siren.
Oh
dear.
But I will say, from all of that, I feel like we need to talk about Hannah directing instead of us. I'm on board.
Scared, you know.
I'll tell you what, the amount of sass that was coming at Hannah then was just
I know.
Were you drawing?
I can do sass.
I was going to say, were you drawing out of some real traumatic set experience?
Honestly, the set I was just on.
It's just like, this is a real life experience for her. Like, she's just acting out again.
She was talking to me like she was mad about my Firefox again. I mean,
I'm a face.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I would be if someone came onto set and demanded something from me.
I only asked for milk and Ben 10,
be prepared,
to be fair.
My name is Bruce Willis, actually, and I think you should, do that. I'm a bothered, though. I'm a
bothered, though. Face bothered.
It started with us wanting like whole new rooms, and then suddenly I just wanted Ben 10 and milk and
I don't know what you were doing.
I don't know where you were going with it, but I
was making compromises already, and it's like you already said no, and I was like, "What about Ben 10 though? Come on, towels and limo." I went from towel to limo like that. Like no,
there was a point in which Alex chose one of the improvs that we did a couple of weeks ago, and I don't understand his brain sometimes.
Oh my God.
I was
the monkey in a spaceship.
Yeah, he was a monkey. I was a rocket. I'm not entirely sure how I was to play a rocket, but I was a rocket.
Played him well.
And and I can't remember what happened.
That's how I do a rocket, anyway.
Yeah.
Just showing
versatility. That was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Who was the monkey?
Alex was the monkey.
Alex
You played it incredibly well. To be fair, I feel like you cast yourself as that because you.
I think you need to show Hannah your monkey impression again.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
It's a bit weird. I'm not performing monkey. Not in the circus.
Sorry, this is. I
feel like
weird.
the sudden
a couple
stop
weeks ago
was the
was
weirder
fine.
part.
Yeah. 1 second. Hold on.
I think the Firefox thing is throwing him off.
I know. Yeah.
No. I got some chocolate milk on delivery.
Wow.
Somebody can get me damn milk, Hannah. Next is Tam.
You asked for milk, not chocolate milk.
Milk's milk, is it not?
The manager's job.
Also, chocolate milk is extra. No. Well, it might be. It depends.
Well, you never even got me a towel, though. That's the thing. Or a limo.
We need to get ourselves some Nesquik on set. By the way, I need to sort that out.
What? On that note,
yeah.
I'm not things to say now because you're just talking about Nesquik.
Other brands are available.
But Hannah, it has been amazing talking to you. I love what you're doing in your sort of #day job. I think it's amazing. I really like it. I think you're brilliant. You proper make me laugh. I love the
sass.
I love.
Look, I got it from my mum. Actually, I probably got it from my dad. Let's be honest. If you're watching there, Paul, shout out.
Second Paul shout out today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, eye rolling at the start. We were.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Paul. I'm also a big fan of Jan. Don't get me wrong. Love you, Mum.
You got any shout outs, Shane?
Well,
yeah. Ooh, shout outs.
Sorry, Mum. But no, have you got any? Where can people find you, Hannah? If they wanted you to, work for you or something? Have you got a?
Don't find me.
So...
Don't find me. I find you.
She's just there tapping your computers whenever you say I need a production manager. It's like Beetlejuice. She just appears.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone's just calling.
She's like
someone in East Lothian wants a production manager. Sorted. If they want to find me, they can find me on Instagram probably, which is at false teeth.
Quick and simple. We love it.
All right, Mr. Riced by Daylight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I'll give you a reason why. I thought I was cool when I was a teenager, and I was called False Truth. And then people realised my dad was a dentist, and I became False Teeth because I had quite big teeth.
That's a cool origin story. It's better than my one. I don't actually know.
I have an origin story.
Have an origin story.
I know where Rice came from, but that's
like Prometheus.
A different story.
Completely unneeded, but worthwhile nonetheless. That's Prometheus.
But Luke, do you want to do your plugs?
What the heck should I plug today?
Do your normal one.
I'm going to do everything. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at the strange Twitter handle that I created when I was 12 of @llama_bottle0. You can find me on Instagram at the Ginger Luke. You can find me on Facebook at Luke Allen Film. All podcasts, radio appearances, newspaper articles, short films, anything I'm remotely involved in is at my website, lukeallen.co.uk. You can also find me on IMDb and on Podchaser.
Whoa.
You done?
Yeah. You can also find my podcast, the Love Rosie podcast, on all good podcast platforms, analysing the 2014 movie Love Rosie, 5 minutes at a time. We're at Love Rosie Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go back old school. Christmas Actually, I did a Love Actually breakdown over Christmas Act Pod on all of those, and 2 Minutes About Time, analysing the Richard Curtis film About Time. Similarly, at 2 Mins About Time. And I've got others, but I think that's enough.
I would say that was a fair amount.
Yeah.
Normally,
it was almost a wrap.
It nearly was, wasn't it?
You see, after doing 77
a wrap.
Yeah.
After doing 77 episodes of 2 Minutes About Time, the moment I say my Twitter, I go on to complete autopilot because I had to plug at the end of every episode that I can just go full
Had
force.
to or wanted to?
Well, since I ran the show, a bit of both. Now on Love Rosie podcast, it was actually my co-host Ellen, who is art director for the bar scene in Reduced to Clear. But my co-host, she actually said, like, why don't we just plug our Instagrams? And I was like, yeah, that's probably easier.
That's what I just did. See that? Me and Ellen already on the same page.
Go on then, Alex.
So Rice by Daylight, and then the second one, which you should check out. That's where me and Luke do all of our code, like our joint film stuff. Is Mr. Middle Films, all one word. So yeah, and this is on Instagram. I don't have Twitter. I mean, I do, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I really like Twitter. All right.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
So where can they find you, Shane? You haven't.
Where can they find us? Where can they find us?
You haven't plugged your personals in a while.
I don't plug my personals. So you can find us the Shooter Biscuit podcast.co.uk, made by our friends over at Web Orchard. They're amazing guys. Pete White is an absolute wizard. So if you do need a website, go and have a word with them. Tell them that Shane at the Biscuit sent you, and you'll sort you out.
Also, extra bonus plug. Sorry. On your show last week, I met Al in person and did like a little 10-minute.
Yeah, you did. That's supposed to have gone very well. But what I also want to plug as well is we're actually doing on the 29th to the 30th of September a non-stop 24-hour podcast challenge. It's on International Podcast Day. We're actually also raising money for Ling & Davis charity. This is going to be sort of transatlantic as well. So it's going to be 12 hours of the Shooter Biscuit podcast and then 12 hours of You Suck Network. So basically when we get to, we'll stop at 12 hours and then they'll take over and do the rest. We are looking for corporate sponsors as well. I think it's about £50 for to sponsor one of the hour slots. So obviously we have 24 of those. All the money goes into the charity. We're also looking for things to auction off for the charity event as well. And ultimately as well, on top of everything, we need guests to come on.
We will have a Reduced to Clear hour.
We are going to have a reduced clear hour. It's going to be a long haul. We need a lot of guests. We need a lot of help because talking for 24 hours is going to be difficult. So it'd be great to have a mixture of different people on from different backgrounds and stuff to come and sort of stir it up a little bit and keep it alive. It's very exciting. We just literally recorded we actually filmed an advert for the 24-hour podcast, which is quite good. Did that at Rockin' Horse Studios with Gareth.
Gareth, our director of photography, Gareth. So
yeah, so he came and filmed a film advert for us. You'll supposed to see that over on social medias at some point. And our main sponsors for the 24-hour podcast at the moment is Reach, who are a marketing and PR company in Shrewsbury.
I can say it's a real sign of what we said earlier about the lack of film stuff in Shropshire, that I think everyone involved in film in Shropshire I've either been involved in our stuff or I've been trying to get involved.
Yeah. So Hannah, it's been an absolute pleasure. We've been going for over an hour and 10 minutes now.
It's because Al's not here.
I know it goes so fast.
He would have cut me off at my Twitter.
It's been a genuine pleasure. You're welcome on again anytime.
Happily come on again.
And
I love a good natter.
Maybe we have to get you on the 24-hour.
Absolutely. I can talk more about street cones. I could also talk about more Reduced to Clear, but if you've got Reduced to Clear, I don't want to dig any of it a lot.
We haven't discussed this with cast and crew, but I'd be potentially seeing whether for the hour we just put a call out to everyone involved in the film and see how many of them can.
That'll be chaos. Let's do it.
Oh, that's going to be a weird hour.
Mind you, it's after we've filmed. They'll all hate us.
Well, they'll hate me because I'll be the one bossing them around.
On that note, guys, I better go because I need to go and spend some time with my partner before she goes to bed because otherwise she's probably going to kill me. And Alex's already gone. So,
all right.
But guys,
lovely.
It's been absolutely awesome. It's been a while since I've actually had a decent laugh on a podcast, to be honest with you. Yeah. So thank you very much, Hannah.
Alex, no worries.
Yeah, it's been good fun, and it took a surprisingly not good, serious conversation turn. I like it.
You're welcome.
Great. Anytime.
Right, guys, peace out.